Hello and welcome to On Europa League quarterfinal second leg. Everything is very open. I think all 8 teams have a lot of possibilities to qualify for the semi-finals. 3 draws. Only Bodø Glimt won, but Lazio want a comeback. Let's see what Alain Valnegri and 𝐬𝐵𝐵𝐴. Hello guys.
Hello.
As usual with the Europa League, wanna tell us, because I think there are very good odds and I can tell everyone could disagree with the odds and with the team qualifying for the semifinals, because it's very open. So guys, tell me in your comments which teams are going to play the semifinals in your opinion. And now let's go on with the show. And this time, all the games are going to be played at the same time, 9 p.m. Central European Time. First stop, San Mamés, Bilbao. Remember, the stadium of the final. Athletic Rangers. Athletic miss a huge chance to win at Ibrox Park. Rangers playing with 10 men. We know that they suffer when they play at home in this Europa League. And, well, away, if you are Scottish and you want to be optimistic in the Europa League, they beat 𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐻, Nice and Malmo. But Athletic are massive favorites to win this game. Even to qualify is only 1.18. And, well, Leon, the thing is that at home they've won all the games in this Europa League.
Yes, they are massive favorites. That's true, and I believe so. They're going to go through to the semi-finals. But the fighting spirit shown by Rangers was massive. To play with 10 men from the 12th minute because of proper red card, to play 12 minutes of injury time with 9 men because of a Sterling injury, and still ended up squeezing Athletic, leaving everything to play for in Spain. Really was massive last week. They were very lucky too, of course. I mean, if we play that game again under the same conditions, very likely Athletic will take 1 or 2 goals lead to the second leg. Ferguson surprised everyone by changing the goalkeeper, and even that paid off for Rangers, because Kelly saved the penalty from Berenguer. That was a massive goal to drop, I think, Jack Butland, who was the hero against 𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐻. Athletic had many other chances and they haven't taken them. Although in 1 or 2 occasions Rangers threatened at the counter, and that is going to be the playbook for Thursday in San Mamés. But I can't see a scenario where in San Mamés Athletic fails to translate into goals the opportunities they will create. I will expect a little bit more, maybe probably from Nico Williams. He was not a shadow of himself in Glasgow, but not at his best. On Sunday, Athletic had a very much needed win against Lazio, and they were 1-0 down at halftime. Per dryer from Valverde, and they ended up winning 3-1, and that was something that I think is going to give them calm going into this game, because they open up a gap now in the Liga of 5 points with the 5th spot, which gives as well qualification to the next Champions League. But on the other side, they're going to be facing a team that have created huge memories in this competition, a team that has been enjoying being the underdog. On the way to the final in Sevilla, let's remember that in the playoff, they faced Dortmund, and maybe we all thought, okay, they're going to be crushed out. And they went to Iduna Park, and they won 4-2 in quarterfinals and semifinals. They lost the first leg, and they end up winning those ties. In this Europa League, you mentioned, Edu, all those wins away from home. But still, even when they lost in Old Trafford, they lost the game on added time in the league stage of this Europa League competition. But again, as I said at the beginning, Athletic clear favorite. Might take here Athletic Bilbao to win, plus Athletic first team to score. Those two combined 1.9.
Massive favorites. It would be a huge disappointment if they don't qualify. Alain, you also see it almost one-sided, this tie at this stage?
Yes, the first leg, I think we saw Athletic is really favorite, and is better in every line. Maybe in the collective analysis, Rangers can fighting against this Athletic, but the powder of Athletic when they played in San Mamés is really strong. Now the pressure can be an handicap for Athletic because the pressure is really strong right now. The finalist is in Bilbao. Is the last legs before the semi-final to give the access to the final. Athletic, when they played at home, their push really strong. But warning, because Rangers away this season is better team than when they play at home. The last game of Rangers don't score away was at the beginning of October against Kilmarnock in Scottish Premier League, and with this direct play transition in the first leg we don't saw that with Rangers, because then Rangers put the focus only in the face without the ball, and in my opinion it will be a game with goal. This one more than the first leg in Scotland. Athletic will be start really strong, is something we know is historical in Bilbao, and for that reason I choose 1.25 goals in the first half, odds 1.95.
Well, hopefully we see more goals. With one goal should be enough. We saw Roma, for instance, crumbling in San Mamés after the player was sent off after playing with one man down. Let's see if Rangers can put a fight, but of course they are the underdog. We have higher odds for the next one, Frankfurt Tottenham. For both sides, actually is very level in this case. We saw 1-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur's ground, and now it's Frankfurt 1.75 to qualify Spurs 2. Spurs just drifting in the Premier League, another defeat. And away in the Europa League, Alain, they lost in Turkey against Galatasaray, against 𝐬𝐭𝐴Z in the previous round. And for Frankfurt, it's kind of the opposite. They've been very strong playing at home, 4 wins and 1 draw. For instance, they thrashed Ajax 4-1.
Yes, Frankfurt, when they played at home, we know is powder the ambient in 𝐶𝐿𝐴 Arena. Now the question is, Eintracht this season, except against Ajax, they suffer a lot. The big match against the biggest team in Bundesliga, they suffer against Mainz. It's a derby for them. The strong game, maybe it is because it's a young squad. Yes, a young squad, and they suffer a lot of the pressure. But against Ajax, I think they're unlucky. That pressure, that feeling to be scared when they played at home. Tottenham arrived in a really bad condition. Tottenham is a miracle of Tottenham is there. Maybe it was the draw, the gift for Tottenham to arrive at this stage of the competition, because Zeta Alkmaar was not so strong in the last leg. And in the last round, sorry. And now I think Eintracht is really favorite. When I checked the odds, I was really surprised about the odds for Eintracht winning, and for that reason, I choose Eintracht winning. Odds 2.41.
Yeah, massive odds. The bookies actually don't give a lot of advantage to Frankfurt. Surprisingly, I would say as well, Leo.
And I will disagree a bit with that. I mean, not because of Tottenham run. You said Edu, you said Alain, they are drifting in the Premier League, 17 defeats already. They lost 4-2 on Sunday. They lost 10 times away this season. Only Leicester and Southampton, both teams who have already relegated, lost more than them away from home in this Europa League as well. When they went to Istanbul, they had an expected goal against of 3.2. They went to Hoffenheim, expected goals against of 2.25. And Hoffenheim is, if I'm not wrong, 11 places behind Frankfurt. But why? I'm saying I'm not agree that Frankfurt is a real favorite here, because Tottenham showed in the first leg that on a good night they can compete and they can do well. They played the best game of the season in the first leg. And to be honest, they should have taken at least 2 goals difference to Germany, because the second half especially was wave after wave of attack. It was a moment in the second half when in a space of 1 minute and a half, they had like 4 chances. The man of the match was 𝐿𝐴 Santos, the Brazilian goalkeeper from Eintracht. But how they suffer? They suffer in transition. They suffer at the counter, and that's where. And we spoke about that in the previous show, that Eintracht are masters of that. And now, if Tottenham tries to take the game into Eintracht Frankfurt's half, they're gonna suffer at the back. But if they're on a good night, like they showed last Thursday, even though yes, they couldn't score more than one. That's why I think this tie is level. I'm not gonna go 𝐿𝐴 or 𝐿𝐴, because to be honest, for me, is in the balance the tie. I believe it's a given that we're gonna see goals here. Tottenham even hit the woodwork twice in the first leg, and Mickey van de Ven, I don't know how he couldn't score that header at the end of the game. 𝗍𝐿𝐴 had a very good game as well, and also scoring for Frankfurt, 25 goals this season, scoring as well on the weekend. But yes, both teams to score for me is a given here. Goals are a given here. So my take are these two combined. Both teams to score yes, plus goals over 2.5. These two odds of 2.55.
Well, last bullet for 𝗵𝗵.
Yes, that for sure.
That's for sure. Not sure even if they win the competition, he will stay, no, in North London.
I agree.
Because the season has been so poor. Well, and talking about poor seasons, let's talk about Man United, of course. This one is very interesting one. Man United Lyon. Probably if you wanna put some money in a massive surprise, go for Lyon, because the bookies don't give them any chance. 4.9 to win at Old Trafford. To qualify is 3.0. Therefore, Man United are super favorites, 1.36 only to qualify. Another pitiful game in the Premier League against Newcastle. No wins in the last 4, so for sure they don't arrive in the best moment. But still, Leo, of course, the name, the badge, probably even the stadium, put them as favorites. Nothing else. For sure not the way of playing this season.
Yes, absolutely. For me, this one is difficult to understand because we can talk, as we said before, of Tottenham season as well. But at least I had that first leg to see that Tottenham can be better on a given night than Eintracht. But Manchester United, nothing tells me why they're so favorite here to defeat Lyon. Probably, as you said, the stadium, the history. We're gonna see who's gonna be the keeper for Manchester United. Nemanja Matic, before the game, said that Onana was the worst goalkeeper in the last 30 years for United. I thought this was the time for Onana to have. Yes, and I thought, okay, this is the time for Onana to have the game of his life and celebrate in the Serbian face. But no, nothing of sort happened. Then Onana was in part culpable of both goals of for Lyon, especially the second of 𝗍𝐿𝐴. So it's Nemanja Matic 1, Onana 0, that's for sure. And then on Sunday, Amorim gave some mental rest. He didn't even pick Onana for the squad to travel to Newcastle. Gave another chance to Bajindir, and the Turkish goalkeeper cannot play for this Manchester United team. Amorim is someone who wants to build from the back, and Bajindir that cannot play with his feet. So in the end, he killed the confidence of both keepers. I mean, if you have a second keeper who cannot be the first choice in any of the other 19 teams in the Premier League, what's the point of playing him? Now he has two keepers with the confidence absolutely very, very, very low. And this is as well the inconsistency of Manchester United. One thing they do well 1 week, the week after, the same thing is done terribly, because against Manchester City, they were a very good block through the middle. They were like as well on the flanks. Every time City was going to the side, the center back was there, the winger was there. And then against Newcastle, a week after, exactly the same, but the opposite. They run through the middle as they wish. On the flanks, Dalot was suffering it a lot. So now we're going to see what's going to happen in Old Trafford. And this Lyon team, we said last week, is a very talented one. So I'm still absolutely surprised with the odds. My take here, Lyon, double chance, 2.16.
Well, and even Lyon doing well in the Ligue 1. Alain, they won at Auxerre, a difficult pitch, and with all the strikers scoring. So if you are looking for a surprise, would you also take a look at Lyon to win, for instance?
Yes, it's an option, but which case we will be see about Manchester United. Probably in Europa League, we saw the best version of Manchester United this season, and the game in Newcastle. What was the grade of motivation, of concentration of the team? It's the last chance to save something to this season and go to the Champions League. It's the Europa League for Manchester United, and I am interested to understand the grade of responsibility about the vestiary, about this team, and this team has player with experience can be win against Lyon. After it's difficult because normally the semi-final will be against Athletic Club, but now against Lyon in the first leg we saw Manchester United suffer the technical level of Lyon. Now Lyon. My doubt is the center striker, because 𝐿𝐿 and Almada play a very high level, but 𝐿𝐿𝐴, I prefer to see Lyon with Lacazette, especially with two wingers like 𝐿𝐿 and Thiago Almada, who search the goal, search the net, search the shoot on the target, is. For Lyon is a good is the night for Lyon. Is the night to start a new cycle, because with Fonseca they start a new cycle. Is a really hard season because they have a lot of financial problem, and that one don't affect the team. That means the team has strong character, strong personality, and you need that to go to Old Trafford to catch the qualification. Now I don't choose 1x2, I choose the market of goal, because Lyon game normally we have a lot of goal, and Manchester United concede a lot in defense, and Manchester United at home score over 2.75 goals, odds 1.81.
Okay, you both see or highlight as well the great odds to back Lyon somehow. They must qualify for the Champions League via Europa League or Ligue 1 to be financially okay for next season, because as Alain said, they had a lot of issues, but they have a great team. Well, and the last one is another interesting one. Lazio, Bodø, Glimt. If you think we are going to see a comeback, a remontada at the Olympico, is 2.5 for Lazio to qualify. 2-0 they lost in Norway. We were saying in the first game, attention, be careful, because Bodø Glimt is so strong when they are playing at home. And there you go, 2-0. Alain, is going to be enough. Do you see Lazio able to do this remontada? It's only one win in the last 7 games in all competitions for the Celeste team.
Yes, but we saw the best version of Lazio in the derby. In derby, we saw a strong Lazio, especially in the second half. A really physical team, really direct team, with a clear idea about the model of play, and the way to disturb and put difficulty Bodø Glimt is play a direct football, really physical, because Bodø Glimt is really academical football now, and it's beautiful to see, but against team really aggressive, normally Bodø Glimt suffer. At Olympico, I think the ambient will be really hot for the Norwegian team. In the derby, we saw Baroni put some player in the bench to reserve them for that game. I refer me to Boulaïdia. For example, Boulaïdia must to have a strong reaction, and this the type of player can be create a lot of difficulty to Norwegian defense. In my opinion, Lazio will have a reaction. I don't know if Lazio will be qualified, but Lazio will be start strong and will be win at the end of the first half, odds 1.89.
Leo, do you think Lazio can come back at home? Big results against good teams in this Europa League. They beat Nice, Porto, or Real Sociedad, for instance.
Yes, that's true. But Bodø is playing the game of their lives. I mean, in a position they've never been there before. The first leg was very good. It's true what Alain was saying about Bodø suffering if they're going to encounter a physical team, and that's what they showed Lazio against Roma in the Derby de la Capitale on Sunday, and that's what Baroni is asking his team. He mentioned that they need to play more 1v1 duels all over the pitch against Bodø, thinking for the second leg. So he was talking about this physicality, that maybe they can hurt Bodø like that. But at the same time, I think that if they play that way, then Bodø be careful at the counter, because that's what they done against Olympiacos. Yes, they lost the game 2-1, but they went through in Athens, and Olympiacos saw the same that Baroni is saying, that they needed to apply physical pressure, to play 1v1 all over the pitch. If you win those duels, well, you are in a good position. But the moment you lose one, you are running behind Bodø players, and they dominated possession. The first leg is not going to happen now at the Olympico, but they were very efficient. They scored 2 goals out of an expected goals of 2.25, and Lazio didn't know for many times during the game how to stop Bodø building from the back. And Bodø, if they cannot build from the back anyway, as they are, as Alain said, more like an academic team, they will play long to 𝐋𝐿𝐴. They have no problems with that. They reduced Lazio to 1 shot on target all game, and that was a header from Mario Gira, which for the goalkeeper didn't have any problems. But again, that's going to change for sure at the Olympico. I'm just thinking about if Lazio will be lacking a little bit of fire in their engine, because the effort on Sunday was huge, and it was an effort that in the end didn't give them the result they wanted, because the game ended in a draw in the derby. I want to see if Matías Vecino plays alongside Rovella, or if it's Guendouzi, because talking about again this physicality that we are saying with Alain, that's right from Baroni to mention. Matías Vecino, the Uruguayan, can give you much more of that than Guendouzi, and I think they're a better match, Rovella and Vecino, at least for this kind of games. Baroni needs more from the strikers. Díaz, last time he scored in Europa League, that was in September. Tati Castellanos just 3 goals in 2025, and 2 of those were against Monza and Cagliari. The odds on Bodø are huge. Double chances on 2.75. By my take here, both teams to score yes, and Bodø to qualify. Those two together, odds of 2.75.
It would be a massive surprise to see a Norwegian team like Bodø Glimt in the semi-finals of the Europa League. Well, guys, as always, remember that we have opened our tipster competitions where you can win some cash prizes and also participate in rivals. Leo, let's go with your safe bet.
Eintracht Tottenham, both teams to score yes, 1.55.
Alain?
Eintracht double chance, odds 1.144.
And the ACCA, Alain?
Athletic Rangers over 8.5 corner. Manchester United Lyon over 1.75 goals. Lazio Bodø over 0.75 goals in the first half. And Eintracht Tottenham over 1.75 goals for a total 3.61.
Leo Bachanian?
Yes, Athletic Bilbao to win. Eintracht Tottenham, both teams to score yes, plus goals over 2.5. These two together, a total ACCA of 3.59.
Great, guys. Good luck. Let's see which teams we see in the semifinals. See you then. Bye-bye.